One of the hardest things to do in healing is to heal alone. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist and I work with people who have experienced abuse as well as people who are perpetrators of abuse, and I have done so for several years. And one of the questions that I get asked about over and over by people who are healing from abuse is like, this is awful. Like, when will I be fully healed? Or when can I get back to, just being or feeling somewhat normal? When will I ever feel that I'm not so alone? Those are some of the frequent questions that I get asked. And one of the things that no one ever tells you is that healing is not supposed to be beautiful. I know that Hollywood is hyped healing up to be this big, beautiful, like coming of age story, this like romance novel where things work out beautifully after like one sort of isolated incident. But really, it's not that. Healing isn't quick, it doesn't happen overnight. And a lot of people that you were with prior to even going through whatever it was that you went through and that you have to heal from, in my case, and the people that I work with, is abusive situations. The people that you had as friends prior to abuse or during the time that you were abused most likely won't be the same community that you have on the other side of it. So you're going to have to completely rebuild yourself from the ground up. And a lot of people aren't going to be able to recognize you. And one of the things that I always tell my clients, like right at the first, maybe second session when I first start working with them, is that like when you go to therapy and you start working on yourself, you make yourself better, a better version of yourself. Your relationships are automatically going to change. Now, whether they change with you, whether you decide that, hey, they're not for me anymore and you distance yourself from them altogether, or whether they just sort of naturally detach and fall off, how it happens, it's going to be different for every single relationship, but your relationships automatically, change. And most importantly, no one knows your story 100% except for you and maybe the other person that you might have went through the abusive situation with. And so you have to realize that your experience is unique to you, and therefore it is your healing journey. We all have to go through this journey of life alone. Now, we may meet people along the way, we may have people that help us through certain periods of our life, but we're born and we die alone. So ultimately each path is your own to take, and you just sort of pick up some tools along the way, but it is your process to handle alone. And so there's no competition to heal quickly. There's no competition to heal beautifully. It's just whatever works for you. And sometimes you may be given difficult lessons that are very similar to learn over and over again. It just means that you have more things to work through with that particular situation. It doesn't mean necessarily that there's something wrong with you or that you're the common denominator and all that yah stuff that you hear on the internet. It just means that like you have a little bit more work to do in that area, and it's okay to take your time and slow down and do whatever it is you need to do, whether that's cry, whether that's get angry, whether that's grieve, whether that's, just talk about it more with your therapist. It's definitely okay to do what you need to do in an effort to heal. But it's your mess, right? And I always tell clients, when they come and see me in therapy, you're laying all your stuff out there on the table for us to sort of pick through. It's like you're just taking your purse or whatever, and or your pockets, and you're pulling everything inside out and you're dumping it out on the table. We're just sort of sifting it through to see what is it that we're going to work through today, right? And that's your choice. And again, I'm there as a guide, and I'm there as a guide for about roughly, 50 minutes a week. But, after that, it's up to you to continue on the rest of the journey until we meet again. So, your healing journey, although it's alone, trust and believe that you have many, many tools at your disposal to help get you through it. And it's okay. You'll get to your desired destination when you get there.